Alright, what's up everybody, this is Sam from Rory MacDonald. In this video I'll be doing the card predictions for PFL 2. Not the full card predictions, I was able to cover just some fights, but I'd like to update this soon so you guys can take a look at it. Alright, so if you have never seen my channel, I do MMA predictions. I'm a handicapper, I have experience of betting MMA and the UFC and other promotions over 9 years. I put down this spreadsheet here so you guys can see in a more metric perspective how I'm doing throughout the years, throughout the events. All right, so in this year I have accumulated 18% profit if I'm comparing the amount I'm betting per card. If I'm talking about unit size, I have 46% or 46 unit profit. All right, I separate things in high, medium and low quality bets, which means like both a mix between value and my confidence level. There are some charts here so you guys can see the profit or the loss. In this case, in the profit here in different segments, and these are the evolutions through time. You guys can see the profit as well. All right, so onto this fight card and the breakdowns who I'm betting. Real quick before, if you don't follow me yet on Instagram, feel free to start following me because I put the bets that I'm taking before the videos. So for this card, 3 bets here. Actually, they are the bets that I have for now. So feel free to start following me. You can get these updates. And like I say here, these videos at first they are available on Patreon, and if you're willing to support the channel, stick until the end. I'll show you how. All right. So guys, what I have here for you guys, just 4 fights. I was not able to go through the entire card, and I decided to take a more systematic approach and actually tape study everything, not to make to jump into conclusions and possibly have a disappointing loss or not getting the proper profit. So the fights that I'm going to be covering here is Emiliano Sordi versus Chris Camozzi. I'm picking Sordi. I'm not going to be betting the fight. I'm actually maybe interested in Camozzi by decision if they have the prop bet, or if people start going crazy on Emiliano Sordi, I may bet Camozzi. Then Nikolay Aleksakhin versus Sadibou Sy. I'm picking and betting C. I'm going to be breaking that out soon. Marthin Hamlet versus Spohn. I'm picking and betting Hamlet. And Vinny Magalhaes versus Jordan Young. I'm picking and betting Magalhaes. Here are the prop bets, the amounts that I'm taking. So it's a very small bet on Magalhaes, a little bit bigger bet on Marthin Hamlet, and my biggest bet on Sadibou Sy. All right. So on to the breakdown, guys. And yeah, so I don't have their pictures here as I usually do, just to try to save some time. And actually, let me just fix this one. I forgot to update. 1 second. Awesome, guys. So I'm back here. So between Nikolay Aleksakhin versus Sadibou Sy, it's a very interesting fight. Aleksakhin is a big favorite in the bookies. I'll try to explain why, and I will try to explain why I don't agree with that. So Aleksakhin, he's a very well-rounded guy, you know, especially he's an elite striker. He's very technical on the kickboxing. He has very good calf kicks, body kicks, throws, head kicks, spinning kicks. This guy is very physically strong. He's a compact guy, like 5'9", but he's very athletic, very strong for the division. He doesn't show much of his grappling in the fights, but you can tell that this guy has the background. You know, he knows he has very good sprawls. He can escape from the bottom. On the offensive part, he can shoot a double leg, but he's not much of a a grappler in a sense that he controls, BJJ player. But he can shoot a double leg. He's pretty good at that, and he always finds himself with great game plans. He's a very tough guy, like I said. Now, Sadibou Sy, this guy is such a massive welterweight, guys. He's 6'3", 8 inches, and he used to be a middleweight, so he started cutting down to welterweight. It's quite incredible how he can make the weight. He's super lean, And yeah, this guy is such a massive reach. He has also very good power, like throw straight shots, great body kicks, switch kicks to the body, head kicks. The problem that Sadibou Sy has is obviously the ground game. He doesn't have much, pretty much anything right there. He's super difficult to take down though. He's super long, very long legs, has great balance. He's an athletic party. So he's super difficult to take down. He also has good, not good escapes from the bottom, but he can escape from the bottom when he starts, moving his legs because of the leverage he has. So that's why I'm actually rating him quite decently here on the defensive grappling, just because he's so athletic and so difficult. Not that difficult to hold down, but very difficult to take down. everybody knows what he's gonna try to do. He's gonna try to strike, and everybody tries to wrestle him like crazy, because once they start feeling the power, the kicks to the body, the people start fading. He has flash knockouts against Dave Michaud with one kick. So this guy is for real in the striking part. And this is an interesting matchup because Aleksakhin, even though he has some ensemble, it's not his forte, guys. At least he didn't show that in the videos. So, like I said, he has a good double leg, but it's not that he's gonna just shoot and take C down at will. Like I said, this guy has legit takedown defense, super strong on the hips, good balance. So I think Aleksakhin gonna have to strike with C, and it's gonna come down to this, guys. Aleksakhin is better on the technique. He's better on the defense, but C has such a massive height and reach, and he has a decent technique, which gives him 5 stars because it's extremely difficult to deal with. So it's kind of a pick and fight in my lines. I'm actually favoring Sadibou Sy just because, Aleksakhin, he's going to try to start fast. He's going to probably try to land the calf kicks and push him, try to shoot. I think Sadibou Sy gonna be able to stuff that and start picking him apart from the outside. Aleksakhin not gonna try to risk too much here for him not to get knocked out. So I think this is going more to Sadibou Sy's side than Aleksakhin, just because it's a tough matchup for Aleksakhin. So I'm going C by TKO. Let's see, it's quite a bold pick because Aleksakhin has never been knocked out. But if he starts risking too much, he's gonna get knocked out, Or it's gonna be Sadibou Sy, or even Aleksakhin by decision. Aleksakhin obviously can win this, staying on the outside, landing some calf kicks, pushing him back, shooting, keeping busy. There is a chance he's gonna do it. He's probably gonna be the way he's gonna try to come to this fight. But again, to me it's a pick and fight. You guys see it, my lines here. There's a spread here, so Aleksakhin could be the favorite. C could be a quite strong favorite if he can keep on the outside. So this is my calculations. And like I told you guys, I started adding this table so you guys can see more or less my rationale here, what's in my head. So I think, Sadibou Sy has more chances for the knockout than Aleksakhin. Aleksakhin can put him out with the calf kicks and then, landing a bomb and overhand or something. I don't think it's much likely, but there's a chance. For decision, it's quite tricky one, it's quite close, but I think against C should be able to edge a decision if Aleksakhin doesn't put crazy pressure on, which is again going to be difficult. It's not much his style, And there is this variance, right? There's always it's nothing is exact here. I'm giving like 15% my plus or minus on these numbers that I'm putting. So take a look at this. But to me, the best bet of the card is in Sadibou Sy. All right, on to the next fight: Ray Cooper versus Jason Ponet. Another interesting one because Cooper is the one who beat Sadibou Sy that we just spoke about. This guy has crazy aggression. He goes forward like unstoppably. He has very good striking, Actually, it's not that technical, but he's so tough and relentless with that. He has good power, so he's definitely a force there. He also likes to mix that up with the wrestling. I actually added the 4-star here. I should have done before. Because he has very good offensive wrestling, even though he's not the best technical grappler, but still he has got good grappler. So the outstanding wrestler, the wrestling, the tenacity, and some grappling plus good ground and pound gives him the 4-star here. Defensive, he's not the best. He gets hit quite a bit. Has been TKO'd a couple of times. And from his back, I'm not sure he has the best ground game. I haven't seen much of that, but still, I'm assuming that he's at least decent because he should have good takedown defense. And also, he pushes the pace. He's not the biggest welterweight. He's only 5'7" for the welterweight division, so I think that's a little bit shorter. But still, he makes up in aggression and everything. Now, Jason Ponet, more like quite the opposite of Cooper, actually. This guy's super calm, likes to counter punch, likes to pick his shots, 1-2, then he gets out, then he lands a knee, then he gets out again. It's not that easy to deal with him because... Yeah, he actually is not the biggest welterweight as well. He's like 5'11", and he's not the biggest puncher, doesn't have the biggest reach, but he's a pretty decent, well-rounded welterweight, as you guys see on my ratings here. I think it's quite a tough matchup for Ponet. The line shows that. I think because Cooper gonna come forward like very hard again and gonna try to out-wrestle Ponet. Ponet gonna be ready for that. He knows that Cooper gonna do that, but it's gonna be difficult to stop, in my opinion. Unless Ponet can land a heavy knee and then pick his shots from the outside or something. It's quite a tough matchup for him. But yeah, he's gonna try to keep his range and gonna try to defend the takedowns and keep it standing. We'll see what happens. There is a question to be answered in this fight, is that if Cooper can't finish Ponet early, because Ponet has also never been knocked out, what's gonna happen? But yeah, Cooper by TKO is my pick. I think at some point he starts landing heavy on the feet, can even finish him with ground and pound, you know. And yeah, but if you like Ponet by decision at plus 500 is not a bad idea, in my opinion. You know, the line is actually, I think Ponet is probably a 400 dog or plus 500 dog. So I'm thinking of putting a very tiny amount on Ponet. But we'll see. I'll let you guys know in the comments. Take a look. Stay tuned for that. And feel free to pause here. Take a look on this comments. I think it's worth your time. All right. And here are my calculations for the fight. I'm quite close to what the bookies have. I think the bookies have Cooper as a stronger favorite. I understand why. But basically he can win anywhere, right? And yeah, like I said, Ponet by decision may be not bad because he can land a knee, etc. Like I said, but Cooper is a tough guy, has a good chin, so I think it's quite difficult that Ponet finishes him because he doesn't have the best punching power. So yeah, if I'm gonna bet Ponet, if I have the decision prop bet like plus 600, something like this would be an interesting one for me. Emiliano Sordi versus Chris Camozzi. Another interesting fight to see what's gonna happen because Sordi is quite similar to Cooper in the regard that in the front foot he's super aggressive, you know, throw bombs, has good power. He doesn't have the wrestling background like the other guy, you know, but still he tries to push forward. He has quite a decent double leg, a good top game. But his forte is definitely the striking. He likes to throw, you know, straight shots. Sometimes he goes crazy when he corrals guys and goes with the hooks, you know, throws everything behind. But he's a quite young, powerful guy, so he's quite dangerous there. So he's pretty well rated also, has good game plans, you know, has been adapting quite well in the recent fights. But he's fighting Chris Camozzi, which is a guy known by his lack of power, but his extra endurance and his good chin. It's gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen in this fight, because Sordi probably gonna start fast as he always does, gonna start landing on Camozzi. He's probably gonna try to finish Camozzi, and we're gonna see Camozzi going for the clinch. And gonna be interesting to see how Sordi gonna deal with that. He's probably gonna deal with pretty good in the beginning, but what's gonna happen after the second round, the third round? I'm quite curious to see this, you know, because Camozzi is a veteran. He knows what Sordi gonna bring to the cage. He knows himself. He knows that he doesn't pack that much power, but he's a durable guy. So he's gonna try to edge Sordi to decision. There's no doubt about it. Let's see what's gonna happen, guys. I think Sordi is the favorite here. But I would like to bet Camozzi by decision if I can find like this plus 450, plus 500 line. You know, I think there's some value there. But the pick is Sordi by TKO, you know, and these are the prop bets that I'm interested in. These are the comments that I put for you guys. You can pause here, take a look at it, and I think it's worth your time. And this is my calculation for this fight. I think it's quite close to what the book is opened between Sordi and Camozzi. I think Sordi has good chances for the KO, even though Camozzi has never... He has got finished once, but it's more like a corner stoppage or a cut stoppage, something like this. It was not a legit TKO, but Sordi has the power to do it. And Camozzi now is 35, so it's not neither in his prime anymore. So, yeah. But then Emiliano Sordi by decision, guys. If you can find this line, it should be very interesting, because Camozzi is known by his durability again, you know. So it may be interesting, Sordi by decision or Camozzi by decision. So a decision prop bet in this regard. Either guy probably gonna be at a good price, because I think everybody expects that Sordi gonna finish him. Okay, so yeah, and these are my calculations for this one. On to my last fight that I'm predicting. No, I have two more. So between Marthin Hamlet versus Dan Spohn, an interesting one also. Actually, there is not much footage available on Hamlet for me to analyze, because he doesn't have that many fights. He has only 10. But a lot of the footage is available, and also he's a quite young guy, so he's evolving throughout the years. But I'm gonna be judging here what I've seen. Hamlet, I'm rating him quite poorly on the striking, not because he doesn't have the technique, but because he doesn't have the volume, you know. And the defensively wise, I haven't seen much, so I'm rating him, you know, quite poorly here. Try to show that I think Spohn has the striking advantage in this matchup, even though Spohn could do way better if he put a jab behind his his strikes, because he's not the longest guy, but he's a quite tall guy and he has the technique to do it, but he kind of doesn't have the volume himself, but from what I've seen, he does a better job in this regard. But I think Hamlet is definitely the better grappler here. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler standout. He can, take guys down pretty easily. He has a good top game, good control. Actually, he doesn't have the best control. I think that's the problem that I have with Hamlet, because he's good taking guys down, but not too much controlling them. But still, I'm rating him quite well here, because fairing with the division, fairing with Spohn, he deserves it, So he has the grappling in this matchup, even though Spohn evolved his grappling throughout the years, he's now a BJJ brown belt. I think still from the top, Hamlet's going to be able to do what he wants, basically, And it's going to be interesting to see. Because Spohn also, I'm judging a little bit here in the past and remembering things from quite a while ago. Spohn didn't used to have the best cardio, the best physical strength. So I think Hamlet, being a younger guy, he has advantage on the size, on the strength part. So I think Hamlet is a small favorite. I like him. I like a bet on him just to see if he's really gonna shine, if he's gonna be evolving, gonna be committing to this fight. I think he will. He has a chance to shine here. Again, he's a quite young guy. Not that young, but still quite young. Spohn's 35 or 36, whereas he's 29. I think there's an interesting discrepancy there, because I think Hamlet's still coming to his prime and he's gonna probably evolve here, try to dominate the fight. Spohn is a guy that you can predict a little bit more what he's gonna do. He's more sound. But I think Hamlet's gonna be able to out-wrestle him, gonna be able to even land a little bit heavier on the feet if he brings the right improvements there, So these are the odds that I'm interested to. These are the comments that I put for you guys. This is my calculation. Actually, I forgot to convert this one. But basically, I see Hamlet as a minus 125 favorite, like I put it here. All right. The KO for Hamlet would be like plus 800. Same by submission, Same idea for Spohn. Plus 1,000 for Spohn, so I don't think there's much chance that they're going to finish each other. I think this goes to the decision, giving 30% chance on Hamlet, around 25 on Spohn. Okay, so it's quite a close fight, could be close, but I'm putting like a variance of 20%, I think, because, like I said, Hamlet can bring improvements, can do something different here. Spohn is more predictable, but I'm edging more towards Hamlet being the favorite, so let's put it more like 60% favorite for Hamlet. That would give like minus 160, something like this. So there's a small value for me on Hamlet, and I'm betting him. All right, on to the next fight, Vinny Magalhaes versus Jordan Young. This is an interesting one again. Magalhaes is the veteran here, the old lion. Young is the young lion. So yeah, guys, I'm back and forth here. The reason is Magalhaes has so much potential. This guy can do a little bit of everything. He's better than Young everywhere, technically at least. Has good boxing. He has very good kicks. And he's an outstanding grappler. He's an elite both BJJ player and no-gi grappler. He won competitions before. He's still active. Maybe not actively competing on those, but he's at least actively training very heavily with his grappling. So he's definitely a great fighter. He's also has massive experience. He knows what he has to do on the fights. What's his problem? It's his execution. It's his cardio. He comes out there. He comes guns blazing. Not even guns blazing, because he doesn't have the best cardio in the world. But he tries to go heavy from the beginning. But then he fades. And also, he has a striking style where he holds his ground more than anything. So he tries to land power shots. Even though he has quite good technique. He stands his ground, so he starts getting hit, and then his chin has been tested, several times. So he starts getting, confused in the fight when he starts getting hit and hurt. So Magalhaes is not a guy that you can trust too much. But I can say quite similar things about Young, even though he's very young again, and he's got a good chin at this point in his career. But he's not the best striker, guys. This guy throws basically 1-2s, and it's not much power. It's not that sharp. His chin is always up, He doesn't quite. He's not quite busy enough with these things. So Magalhaes has the striking, at least on the technique part. Magalhaes also has the grappling, even though Young is pretty good from his back. He has a good BJJ game. It's quite difficult, gonna be quite difficult to use against Magalhaes. He's gonna try to out-grapple Magalhaes, he's gonna end up getting swept, you know. Maybe not finished, but at least he's gonna get swept and dominate from top. So the question here is, can Young push the pace, you know, make Magalhaes tired, start landing on his chin and edge a clear decision, or even finish Magalhaes with the strikes, or after Magalhaes is hurt, catch him on a guillotine or something. I think it's quite difficult, you know, because Young doesn't have much experience as well. So I'm end up going with Magalhaes with everything I said, you know. I think he's a small favorite. I'm leaning him more towards like a 60% favorite, which would give like minus 170, like I said. So there's a small value in Magalhaes. I think he can finish him by submission, you know, like with a leg lock or something. Or edge him in a clear decision, make it quite competitive on the feet, but shooting at times, holding Young down. So I think Magalhaes has the edge here. I'm going to be going with the old line, okay? These are the prop bets that I'm interested to if they open the prop line bets. And these are my comments. Feel free to pause here. And this is my calculation for this fight. Again, there's a big spread here as a variance because Young can bring something different to the table, you know, and flip these odds entirely. So it's a quite tricky one. But I think Magalhaes has a little bit more chances by submission. By decision is a quite tricky one, you know, could go either way if it goes to the decision. So a decision prop bet on Young may be very, very interesting, or even TKO if the line is right, like +5 or +600, okay? And yeah, I would bet both of these guys by decision at +300 range. I think it's probably the best way to go to this fight if they have a prop bets, all right? So guys, this will do for this video. If you're still with me, I'm gonna be now showing the Patreon if you guys wish to support me. So let me just open it up. I forgot to open before. So basically I have 3 tiers, and let me just show to you guys so these are the 3 tiers. So the early releases, obviously, as the name says, is the early releases. I have a video that I made explaining why it's interesting for you guys to have early releases. This $100 bucks come back pretty quickly. I think you guys are gonna be very profitable with this. Same ideas with the prop bets, you know. So the prop bets, like I'm putting here, it covers lots of things. You go for the most likely scenario, enhances your profit, pretty easy to get the $15 back. And the 50 is my ultimate package, which has everything plus all the bets that I'm taking. So I'm gonna be showing that here in this video. The bets that I have for this kite, I hide one column here, which is the amount, because the amount shows the betting strategy. So I hid that in respect to my patrons. But here are the bets that I'm taking for this card, mixing with some others. So like I said, Marthin, Hamlet, I'm a little bit more confident on him than Magalhaes, so I'm putting a small straight bet on him. I'm parlaying him with Hamlet, that is a boxer. So I also have this for as a special addition for my Patreon $50 followers. So yeah, I'm parlaying him with Hamlet, then I'm parlaying him with Vinny Magalhaes, with Joseph Parker, also from the boxing. So yeah, Magalhaes is a small parlay with Hamlet, then Sadibou Sy, as I spoke about, plus 240. To me, there's great value there. It's my biggest bet, like I said. Then I have lots of parlays with Sadibou Sy, also with the FC for the weekend, with Kamaka, with Felipe Colares, and then in the future with John Park. All right, so these are what you guys get in the $50 tiers. I have here the closed bets that I took. As an example, here I had FC 261, which ended up cashing nearly 4 units, you know, with some losses that I had on the previous card. So the card was quite profitable, but with some losses from the past, it ended up being 4 units profit. So if you bet more than 200 bucks per month, easily this $50 bucks come back with you. It's very consistent. As you guys know, my strategy is based on diversification, on experience. You know, I put more money when I'm more confident, or when there's more value. As an example, Sadibou Sy, this card. But I also mix it up quite well with others, you know, because I'm in general more right than I'm more wrong. So the profit also comes out consistently, and it reduces a lot the losses. All right. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, consider supporting the channel, and I'll talk to you next time. This is Sam from Rory MacDonald Millender, bringing the best, most consistent, and transparent betting strategy for you.